Welcome back to On the Hook Crochet. This is Jeannie and I'm glad you're here. Let's find out what's on the hook. Today on the hook, two shawls, and they're both finished objects, and I wanted to talk about them just for a few minutes because they're different in a way that might give you an idea to make something unique of your own. So that's why I'm here, to inspire, and hopefully people will take these ideas and do them in your own way, your own colors, your own yarns, your own patterns. But I want to give you some good suggestions, and hopefully they will be something that you can take and use on your own. The first shawl that I have to show you is another fortune shawlette. And if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I introduced a yellow shawl that I did the other day. It's a summer shawl, and I released it the other day to show my viewers and subscribers. And it turned out so nice, and it didn't take long at all to make. It was just about 2 afternoons, and I was done with it. So I thought, I like that pattern. I'm going to make it again. So in the meantime, I did all this crocheting in Destin when I was down there on my little weekend 3-day vacation. And like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to do, so I just crocheted a lot while I was there. I even, and I can't believe I don't have a picture of this, crocheted on the beach. I went out on the beach one day and I had on shorts and a tank top because it was really too cold for a bathing suit. So my husband and I went out and sat in the beach chairs under an umbrella, and it was a beautiful day, but it was a little bit cool. It wasn't cold, but it was a little bit cool. And I had brought my America tank in my little project bag out onto the beach, and I thought, oh, that's just not going to work. And I grabbed it out, and I was just working on it. I didn't get any sand in it or anything, so it was great. The sand was blowing around a little bit, but I didn't notice it getting into my tank top that I was making. So I made some time on that out on the beach because we were out there 2 or 3 hours, and so I crocheted the whole time. And I made a lot of progress on that. And I also, as you remember, I went to the Destin yarn shop and I bought some yarn and different kinds of yarn. I'm always trying to do something totally different because I don't want a boring channel. I want you to look forward to seeing my videos and thinking that maybe it might be something great or something different or something new that you can learn. So I bought, as I put in one of my videos, I bought this Barocco gem, and it's a tape. It's a tape yarn, they call it. And it's very delicate and very beautiful, and it's just a flat, well, let's get it here where you can see it. It's a flat tape. And this one has a little bit of a sheen on it. See, there it comes. It's a little bit of a gold sheen. It's really actually more than a little bit. It's beautifully done. And it wasn't cheap. Each ball was $12. And there's 125 yards on each ball. So I did splurge, but I knew I was just going to make a scarf. I wasn't going to make a sweater and have to spend, $60, $70 on a sweater. I'm not doing that. So I bought 2 of these, and I'm glad I did because the first one didn't take me as far as I wanted to go. But this is what I had left. Oh, maybe 6, 8 yards. That's all I had left when I finished my scarf. And I really just crocheted until I was out of yarn. That's just how I did it. And that way I didn't waste any yarn, and I feel like I got my money's worth. And the whole shawl cost $24, which is a little pricey, but it's a beautiful shawl, a beautiful scarf, I should say. And I did a couple of things that are interesting and different. All right, first of all, I used the Fortune shawlette, and I made a picture of this. I got this off the web so you could see it. The yellow scarf is made this way too, but it's only about this big. But this one is the full scarf with the edging on it. I have yet to do the edging. I just really start right there, and I get as far as I can. When I run out of yarn, I just stop. Or when it gets big enough. I don't want huge shawls and scarves, and I don't need that, especially for a summer scarf. Maybe for a winter, but not summer. This is strictly summer because it's got holes in it. It's very open and airy. So I wanted to give you a look at what Tamara Kelly came up with. Her name, I mean, she has a blog called the Moogly Blog. I'm sure you've seen it. And this one I'm very fond of. So let me show you this. This is the shawl that I made out of the tape yarn. And I want to show you something special about it. I don't know if you'll notice it at the beginning while you're just starting to look at this. But here is the shawl, and this is what it looks like made up. It is quite gorgeous. You can make this in any fingering, DK, worsted, any kind of yarn you want to. So you can experiment. This took, I used 200, each ball had 125 yards. So I used about 250 yards of this tape, and it's really, I think it's probably about a 2 or a 3. It's more of a fingering weight tape because I have some that's bulky and it's totally different. So I wanted to show you this though because I did something unusual. You start out at the point, okay? You start out right there at the point and you work your way up. So when I was on the point, I used a J hook, okay? My favorite hook is a J hook. And I usually start with that if I can on anything that I'm making that's, you know, whatever I want to make. I can usually use a J hook. So I started here with a J hook and I got about this far and I thought, you know, I think I'm going to change hook sizes. So I changed to an L hook, which is 2 sizes bigger, okay? The J is a 6.0, the L is an 8.0, okay? So they're 2 millimeters apart from each other. And that's pretty sizable. So 2 sizes up. And if you can see, right in here is where I stopped using the J and I started using the L. And so what it did was, first of all, it made the scarf bigger at the top. But it also made the tip of the scarf very concentrated. And so when you move up on the scarf towards the neck area, toward the back of the scarf, it's much more open. Do you see that? See if you see a difference there. That's the J hook, and then that's the L hook. Coming down through there. I thought y'all would be interested in that because it adds a little bit of interest to the scarf because I'm not putting an edging on it. So I thought, you know what, I think I'm just going to do that. Now, this tape yarn is very squishy. It is really nylon and polyester, so there's no real, there's no natural fiber in it. So it is very squishy, very soft, very drapey, okay? It's very drapey. And when I put it on, and I always wear my scarves this way, usually I do, not every time, but mostly, if they're made in a triangle, this is how I wear them. And in the summer, I let it hang down a little bit in the front. So this is what it looks like on. It's very squishy, very soft. And I'd say, I know I spent a lot on the tape yarn, I realize that, but sometimes it's fun to just splurge a little bit and buy a really fine yarn and make something small out of it. This is not a big sweater or cardigan or anything where it would cost a whole lot to make, but I could go to a big box store and spend $24 in a heartbeat. And I'd really rather have one of these as 4 skeins of yarn that I don't love, but I buy because they're on sale or something. Sometimes I feel like I have to step out and do something different. And since I've had my channel, I've really felt a responsibility to do that, to just do something different. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show y'all different things so that you can step out and, do something that might be unusual or different in your crochet. Because we're talking about wearable crochet style. And things that you wear should be very, very nice. if you spend all this time making an item, you want it to be quite beautiful. You want it to be beautiful when you finish, especially if you're going to wear it. It's not a baby sweater, it's not a blanket, it's an article that you're going to wear to, out somewhere. Or wear it around your house during the day. Every day, even though I work at home, I get up every morning and have my coffee, and then I take my shower and I put on all my makeup and something nice to wear. I don't approach my desk until I am ready for the day. And that's how I approach my crochet too. I don't like sitting down to crochet when I'm not dressed. I don't know why. There's something about being dressed that I like, but I will at night stay dressed until it's time for bed. I don't put my pajamas on and then hang around the house for 2 or 3 hours. I can't do that. I have to stay dressed. So that's just a little bit about me, and I may cut all that out of this video. I don't know. But I wanted to show you this because it's a little bit different. The yarn is a little different. The structure is a little bit different. And it's unusual. It's an unusual scarf, and I really, really like it. This would be awesome on top of as I usually say, a black dress or a black blouse, a black tank, a black long sleeve knit shirt, and a pair of black pants. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? Just is this the only color that you have on? Wouldn't that be gorgeous? I like thinking about that kind of thing because when I go somewhere, I want to look my very, very best. So anyway, this video is about scarves, and there is another video to follow this about another scarf that I made. So I've been a busy bee, and I want y'all to see the things that I have made. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you soon. I'm not sure if you remember, a month or so ago, a friend of mine in my bell choir group gave me a skein or a hank of her hand-dyed yarn that she had just started doing. And I was so excited to get that, and I made a scarf from it. This is the yarn. You should remember this if you watch my videos. It's a little bit of brown and tan with some turquoise and white. It's very beautiful, and it's very squishy. It's wool and nylon, so it's very soft, very squishy, very cool. So I finished her scarf, and it's a very long scarf in a rectangle. And I used the Artfully Simple Angled Scarf pattern. Here it is, and it's on the Moogly blog. One thing I didn't do on here, which I'm famous for not doing, what the pattern says, I changed the ends of the scarf. It's so boring to just have a straight end on a scarf. So I put the angle on one end, and on the other end, I just made it square. So let me show you how that turned out. I'm very, very pleased with it, but before I put the fringe on it, it was very boring looking. Because scarves sometimes need fringe. I'm not a big fringe person, but this is really beautiful. Let me show you the scarf. Now, this is the angled end of the scarf. It angles down this way, kind of a point at the bottom. So I put 9 sets of fringe, and what I do is I put the fringe on each edge, like that. Then I put one in the middle, and then I put one in the middle there, one in the middle. So I don't have to measure or anything. I just kind of eyeball it. But I went around my phone 12 times the long way, my 6S phone. And then I pull the crochet hook underneath, pull the yarn through with my fingers. Most of y'all have probably done fringe, and I'm sure there's a website where you can go and look at a tutorial or something. But that is the angled edge, and I just think it turned out so beautifully. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. And the fringe is a very nice drape. And then on the other side, I just did a squared off edge so that it would be more interesting. The whole scarf would be more interesting. So this is the squared off edge here, and I've already given it a haircut, so it should be hanging pretty straight. And then I have the edge of this angled edge up next to it, and I just have it around my neck twice. And so it's a very long scarf and very drapey and soft and very beautiful scarf. And I plan to give this to my friend on Monday night. So I wanted to video this so you could see what the scarf looked like before I gave it to her. I won't see it again. But I don't really have enough to make myself one, but I could take a stab at it. The Fringe really uses a lot of yarn. The Fringe is a yarn buster, as I've heard people say. And it is. When you start rolling it off there to do this fringe, it eats up the ball of yarn. So I just wanted to show you that. I love that angled end on it. It turned out really nice. It looked very rough before I put the fringe on it. It did not look good because it's such an airy shawl and there's so many chains in it that it doesn't hang straight like it would like a row of double crochet or something like that, but at the ends of the scarf. So it didn't take long to make the scarf itself. The longest time took putting the fringe on. But I really, really like it. Again, take a look at it. It's very, very beautiful. I'm so pleased with it. And I hope my friend will like it. She was very generous enough to give me this yarn. And I thought, well, I'll make her a nice scarf to go with maybe a summer outfit. You could certainly wear it on a white shirt or a blue shirt or a brown shirt. It's got a lot of beautiful colors in it. So I hope she likes it. And I just wanted to get on here real quick and show y'all what I did before I give it away. So join me next time to find out what's on the hook.